Getting pulled over by the police is already a very stressful process, and adding a firearm to the mix brings stress to a whole new level. Many states require that you immediately notify a law enforcement officer that you have a firearm. However, the state of Florida is the exact opposite. We are not required to tell the police that we have a gun unless they specifically ask you if you have a firearm. However, in my opinion, I believe it is in your best interest to be upfront with the officer. I don't want a police officer to see my gun, my magazine, or my concealed carry permit and freak out, potentially putting me in harm's way. Now, would you agree there's a right way to tell a cop you have a gun and an extremely wrong way? When you tell an officer that you have a weapon, what are you going to do to their stress level? It is going to skyrocket. My goal is to lower the stress before we talk about the gun. So how do we do that? How do we lower a police officer's stress? One of the ways we can do that is by pulling over immediately, turning our vehicle off, and rolling our windows all the way down. Next, we want to turn our dome lights on if it is dark outside. Sit still with your hands on the steering wheel or outside the window. When the officer approaches, what's the first thing they normally ask? License and registration. Don't hand them anything. Simply state, yes sir, yes ma'am, but before I do that, I just want to let you know that I have a concealed carry permit and I do have a firearm on me. They're going to ask you where the firearm is located and you need to tell them. Then I like to ask my own question, which is, what would you like me to do about the gun? Now, most officers simply tell me, don't touch it. However, once an officer asked me to get out of the vehicle, so I did. He put my hands behind my back, he took the gun away from me, unloaded it, and he locked the firearm in my trunk. And then he poured the ammunition into my hand. Do you think this pissed me off? Of course it did. But is it smart for me to let this officer know that I'm upset? No. It's also important to note that it is up to you to be polite and respectful to the officer. If you throw a fit, shove your cell phone in their face, or are rude or disrespectful, you may find out what pavement tastes like.